Hello, everyone. Welcome to Barca News. It is March 5th, 2024, and Barcelona have revealed new pictures of what the Spotify Camp Nou will look like after its renovation. And I have to say, I'm very excited for what our new stadium will look like. Also, Barcelona are studying the possibility of renovating and extending the current Ciudad Esportiva, or the sporting complex where our teams train. And finally, Barcelona have revealed a new source of income. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Mo. And before we begin with the news, just a quick reminder to make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment. All of this helps this channel continue to grow. Also, if you are looking for any Barcelona jerseys or merchandise, make sure you hit the kickback. And if you are looking to place any sports bets, make sure you head to Bet Us. Both links for kickback and Bet Us are down below in the description. Now, begin with the news that Barcelona presented the project of the renovation of the Spotify Camp Nou to the Architects Association of Catalonia, and during this presentation, they revealed some pretty cool pictures and renderings of what the new Spotify Camp Nou will look like, which are renderings and pictures that we hadn't seen before. But don't worry, because I got my hands on those pictures, and I have to say, I'm very, very excited about how our new stadium will look like once it's fully completed. Now, let's look at these images. This is the first image of what the inside of the Spotify Camp Nou will look like. As you can see, it's going to have a bold design. It's kind of like a lot of the Premier League stadiums. And the bold design is pretty cool because it serves two purposes. The first purpose is that it makes it for the people who are sitting up top to feel much closer to the pitch. So even though the stadium is going to be pretty big, it's going to have a capacity of 100,000+ people, it's not going to feel like you're in a big stadium. It's still going to feel like you're close to the pitch. And the second purpose that this bold design does is that it will make the stadium much louder in the inside. So when the fans are chanting or singing all match, it's going to be heard a lot louder, kind of like the Premier League stadiums, which will make it much cooler to be in there. And of course, it will make it much more difficult for visiting teams, given the atmosphere of the stadium, thanks to this bold design that the Spotify Camp Nou will feature. Now, more cool things that you can see in this picture is, of course, the roof of the Spotify Camp Nou, which the current stadium does not have. Also, you see those two giant jumbotrons at the roof. Well, of course, there will be the latest technology. I think it's going to be LEDs or OLEDs. I'm not sure, but it's going to be really cool. Big screens, of course, they'll show the replays, etc. And then another thing is you can see the ring of the VIP boxes up top. This is something I talked about in a previous video, where Barcelona are estimated to make around 20 million euros per season from these VIP boxes. This is something new that the Spotify Camp Nou will have that the current Camp Nou does not. And also another cool thing that I noticed about this image is the amount of tunnels for the fans. As you can see in the picture, there are tunnels on each side of the aisle, which is something really cool because I've been to the Spotify Camp Nou multiple times to watch matches, and the tunnels the current tunnels are very spaced out. Sometimes you come out of the tunnel, you find out your seat is on the other side. You have to walk for like 20 minutes just to get to your seat, but that's not going to be the case because now we will have tunnels on each side of the aisle. So really, really cool. More images to show you. Here's another image that shows both the interior and the exterior of the Camp Nou. Of course, you can see the full ceiling from here. And also another thing that I really like is their outer rings. I think it's a pretty cool addition to the stadium. The current stadium does not have those outer rings right now. It will also have more greenery. The current Camp Nou does not have much greenery, so it'd be really cool to see more trees, more grass. And here's another shot of the outer rings, because they look kind of like balconies, so people will be able to stand on them. And since the stadium will be high up, you'll be able to see the city. So I think it's a pretty cool design. I'm very excited to see what our new stadium will look like. Of course, the team will be back in the Spotify Camp Nou November of this year for the 125th anniversary of Barcelona, but the stadium will not be fully developed until 2026. And I have to say, I can't wait to go and watch a match. Now, speaking of renovation projects, Barcelona are now studying the possibility of renovating and expanding the Ciudad Esportiva Joan Gamper, which is the sporting complex where all of our teams currently train. Now, this is a nascent idea. This is an idea that's still being developed. They're still being discussed. It will be discussed in a board of director meetings during this week. But Barcelona are planning or are hoping to not only renovate the Ciudad Esportiva, but also to expand it and make it bigger, to make the facilities more modern and invest into our teams, because it's not only our first team that trains there. All of our teams train there, the women's team, the academy teams, etc. So Barcelona not only want to renovate the facilities and make them modern, which makes sense. We're going to have a pretty modern stadium. Why not have also modern training facilities? But not only that, Barcelona also want to expand the Ciudad Esportiva and transfer some of the current activities that Ciudad Esportiva hold into that new section. And you wonder, well, how is Barcelona going to do that? Well, don't worry. Barcelona have thought about this, or Laporta and his board have thought about this and have everything planned out. Well, Barcelona are going to use lands that the club currently owned in Viladecans. These are lands that Jean Laporta bought back in 2008 during his first presidency. He bought 28 hectares for 60 million euros, a pretty good price. And those lands have been just sitting there. They were earmarked for expansion, but they were never used. So Barcelona are planning to use those lands to expand the sporting complex. And you say, okay, that's fine. The land, it's already bought. We're not going to have spend money on it. But where's Barcelona going to come up with the money for the actual construction? Well, don't worry, because Barcelona also have a plan for that. The club currently owns land in Can Rigalt, which Barcelona could sell. And with the money from that sale, they could use it to renovate and expand the current sporting complex. Now, the interesting thing about these lands in Can Rigalt is that Barcelona bought them back in 1997 for 1.5 million euros, so 1.5 million euros. And then Jean Laporta sold them in 2005 for 35.5 million euros. So Barcelona bought them for 1.5. Laporta sold them for 35.5. So that's a 34 million euro profit. And then came the crook, the thug, Josep Maria Bartomeu, who bought them back for 47 million euros. And you wonder why the club is struggling today. They buy these lands for 1.5. Laporta sells them for 35. And comes this idiot, buys them back for 47. I don't know why. But anyways, Barcelona think that they can sell these lands for about 33.3 million euros and use all that money for the expansion and renovation of the Ciudad Esportiva. So this will not cost Barcelona money, because they already own the lands where the club are going to expand to. And by selling these other lands, they can then use that money to expand, so they wouldn't have to spend any money. Of course, they're still going to discuss this idea. They have to bring it to the club members. This has to be voted on. But I think it's a pretty good idea, because, again, if we do have a pretty modern stadium, why not modernize our sporting facilities too and continue investing into our teams? Now, speaking of money, Barcelona has just announced a new source of revenue, which is Barcelona's new streaming service called Barca One. And this is kind of like Barcelona's own Netflix, and it's going to be completely free, unlike Barca TV or Barca TV Plus, where you have to pay, you have to register for it. Not the case for Barca One. This is going to be a completely free streaming service. Now you wonder, how's Barcelona going to make money? Of course, it's going to be off ads and publicity. So free streaming service that will include 1,500 hours of content that will migrate from Barca TV Plus. So it's going to be 1,500 hours of documentaries, of historical matches, historical events, programs, etc., that already existed on Barca TV Plus. It's going to migrate to Barca One, and you'll be able to watch it now for free. But it's also going to have new content. It's going to have live broadcasting. It's going to have, press conferences, new events, new programming, etc. And the first new documentary that's going to air on Barca One is called Araujo Origins, which, of course, as the name indicates, it's going to be a documentary about Ronald Araujo's life. So pretty cool announcement by Barcelona, free streaming service, another yet new source of income for Barcelona. This is, of course, all part of Jean Laporta and his board of directors' plan to continue increasing the revenues of the club. because not only do we need to cut our expenses, but we also need to increase our revenue. That way we can fast track our financial recovery, and Laporta and his board of directors finding yet another new source to continue fast tracking and get our recovery and get out of the financial hole that Bartomeu put us in. Anyways, that is all for this video. I will see you in the next video. As always, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment down below, letting me know your thoughts and opinions about all the news that I share with you. And as always, Visca Barça.